out there? Welcome to another session of KARLTON Says Real Talk, where you guys get opportunity to get to know your favorite actors, actresses, and reality stars. And today I am very privileged to have Miss AJAI Sanders. You guys probably know her as Gina from A Different World. Hey AJ, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How's everything going today?
So far, so good.
That's good.
Yeah,
to hear. Good
so
to
far,
hear.
so good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, AJ, let's get on into it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up, favorite color, hobbies, anything you want to tell us about yourself.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and I grew up there, and I left home at the age of 17. Which was about 5 years ago, and and I always aspired to be an actress. And I didn't actually. I'm gonna be honest. My first love in entertainment was dance.
Mm-hmm.
I originally wanted to become a dancer, and I wanted to go to. I came out to live with my father, who lived in LA. My mom lived in Dallas, and they always had a great relationship. So when I graduated from high school, I went to live with him, and I wanted to go to, I wanted to be that California girl. I wanted to go to UCLA, and then I'd launch into acting or dance, and then I'd do music videos, and my dream was to dance with Debbie Allen on Fame, and, and then get into a Janet Jackson video. I mean, that was really like my goal. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Because I originally, when I was living in Texas, I was a part of a theater company called the Mahogany Dance Theater, and matter of fact, Erykah Badu was also a part of the same company. She was a few years younger, but we danced in the same company. And of course, she went on to do big things. And so my dream was to become a dancer, and so that was really all that I knew that I thought that I wanted to do. And so instead of going to UCLA, I went to Santa Monica College for 2 years and got my AA degree, but in the meantime, I left my father's house and sort of ventured out on my own. Not to be too dramatic, but I mean, it was kind of a tumultuous relationship. So I was actually thrown out of the house. That's real talk. And so I was kind of like on my own in LA.
Wow. Okay. Well, I did a little research that you actually kind of got your start with, in the stand-up comedy with Robin Harris. How about you? How did that get started? Tell us a little bit about that.
So one night, the show was about to start, and the owner came up to me and he goes, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm an actress, singer, dancer, and I'm young and very loquacious." And he goes, "Well, no one's here to introduce Robin. Why don't you go open the show?" And I'm like, "Okay." And in my head, I really did not know how insane that was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how hard it was going to be. So I was like, "Okay." I went up, my little pumps and my big weave and leather skirt, and nervous, and I just bombed. I mean, it was awful.
Oh wow!
And then the next night, he asked me to come back and do it again. So I was like, okay. And so he kept doing this, and I kept thinking, what is wrong with this guy? I'm not a comedian, Why is he asking me to go up? So anyway, I kept doing it because I was just too stupid, too young and ignorant not to. And so one night, Robin pulled me to the side, and he was like, you got good stage presence, but you just need some material.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, what a concept, And so I really had no idea that I even had comedic talent.
Mm-hmm.
So he mentored me, took me under his wing, and he became like a father figure to me. Robin Harris became a father figure to me, and just sort of taught me how to do stand-up and taught me how to really work the material, how to learn how to, get material and write it and, formulate it. And, so he taught me the technique of being a stand-up comedian. So, I kept going up and introducing him, and I became, labeled as his opening act. Mm-hmm. And I still really wasn't that funny, but people could see that I was kind of working hard at it, so they kind of encouraged me a little bit. And then I heard, Then I heard, like, one night at the club, I was kind of like standing to the side, and this guy didn't really see me. So he goes up to the club owner and he goes, "Hey, what's up with that girl? Who is she sleeping with?"
Mm-hmm.
And it just broke my heart because at this point, I've been really working hard. I'm like, y'all should give me some pat on the back. I'm really trying here now, you know. And so when I heard that, that's when I really decided, you know, I'm so competitive. I really decided that that's when I'm like, I'm going, and I knew what he looked like, and I was like, I'm going to make this brother laugh his ass off. I was determined. I knew exactly where he sat every Thursday night. I looked at him and I was like, I'm going to make your ass laugh. I don't care if that's the last thing I do. So my goal became to really I knew how to make women laugh, but I wanted to be funny to men too.
Mm-hmm.
So he was my motive. I know his face. I don't know his name. I never knew his name, but so about a few months later, I remember I had a little 5-minute, you know, I had a 5-minute act, and you know, and that's all I really needed because I was just introducing Robin. And so one night I remember I had some real jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went on stage and I made that, and I told that my first big joke, and I looked to my right from the stage, man, and I saw that big, fat, burly black brother. He was laughing. I saw his belly moving, and I was like, yes. And that's when I felt like it was official. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nigga, what? You know? That was really all I was like, yeah, what? You know, I had no idea how much rougher it was going to become, but that was like my start. And then one night, you know, months later, I think about 8 or 9 months later, you know, I'm getting ready to bring Robin up because by this time, and now I'm getting a little, you know, people kind of know me. I'm got a little act going, and now I got like 10, 15 minutes, and he's kind of complaining that I'm taking too long on stage. And so one night, Robin pulled me to the side, and he goes, I don't want you to bring me up tonight. And I was like, oh my God, why? What did I do wrong? You know, because that was like my dad, you know. So he's like, nope, you didn't do nothing wrong. He goes, I think it's time for you to really fly now. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And so he said, you know, you are really ready, and you are, you know, you're ready to be you're a comedian now. I was like, what? So he kind of like knighted me at that moment. And he goes, you are officially a comedian. So tonight you don't get to bring me up. I'm going to bring you up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I felt like you would have thought that, I mean, I had just entered into a whole nother level of dimension. It was crazy. And so he brought me up, and he brought me up like in the middle of prime time. I think it was like, the show really didn't get good until like around 10:30 at night because the show started like 8:30. So around 10 o'clock, that's when everybody got the little drink on. Everybody's kind of settled in, and you know, and the real hot acts go up around that time. And sure enough, you know, he brings me up, and I kill, and I couldn't believe it, and it just felt really good. But I remember that was the first night I really was like officially like a comedian doing my thing. I was like in the game. He really put me in the game, and then from that point on, his agent named Bill Gross, you know, he pulled me to the side and he gave me his card. He was like, you know, you got a really good look. You're young. You're energetic. You're talented. You know, let me introduce you to some agents at my agency. So that was when I first got my first agent at Triad Artists, and I got my first commercial agent there, and then I started doing national commercials as I was honing my craft. And then not too much longer after that, I think about 9 or 10 months later, Robin passed away. Then it was kind of like, you know, my father leaving the planet, you know, so it was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? And then after that, that's when Def Comedy Jam had burst onto the scene and auditioning all of us, and we showcased. And from that point on, I mean, it just became a whirlwind. You know, I got auditioned for A Different World. At the same time, I had gotten chosen to do Def Comedy Jam. And it just didn't stop from that point on. It was awesome.
Cool. Well, since you brought up A Different World, let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, you have a unique story, and I've heard it, you know, a few times, you know, in different interviews that you've done as far as getting the role and how you just were originally just supposed to be on there for one time. Can you explain that to our audience as far as, you know, how Gina grew from just a one-time character to basically becoming a series regular?
Well, I have probably the most unique career story because, I mean, quite honestly, it's really unheard of for a young female comedian like myself to have burst on the scene as quickly as I did, because I had only been doing stand-up about 2.5, 3 years when Def Jam came around. So for me to even have been exposed that soon was crazy. And so it was around Christmas time, and things were getting really slim for me financially, and I was homeless, and I was kind of living with different people, and the one person that was a really good friend of mine at the time, Tisha Campbell. Her name is Tisha Campbell Martin now, but she and I were really good friends at that time, and I slept on her floor. I spent the night at her house a lot, and I got this opportunity to audition for A Different World, and so I just figured, if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to go back to Texas and just, figure it out and start all over. Anyway, so by being at her house, she would always help me with my auditions, with my lines, and we run lines every day. And anyway, so she drove me to the audition, and I did great. And so then I got the call back, and so the call back was for the producers. Now, I don't know how it is now, but when you walk into a room full of producers on A Different World at NBC, it looked like literally a sea of people. And it was a relatively small office, so it was like everybody was like sitting all over the room, on the floor, in chairs, at the desk. I mean, it was just a lot of people. And I remember Tisha had warned me. She said, "Okay, if Debbie Allen is in there, she's got this really interesting laugh." She said, "So don't let that throw you off." So she said, "But that's a good sign. If she laughs, you're in." And I was like, "Okay." So here I am. It's cold. It's January, and I'm just kind of like in the balance. Like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to go to Texas. My bags were packed. I was ready to go. So we go to the audition first. I go to the audition, and there's a whole lot of girls waiting in the lobby like me. And, we go in one by one. I audition. I hear Debbie laugh. I felt like, okay, this is good. This is good news. So I finished the audition. To me, I felt like I killed it. It was awesome. So they told me to wait, and I waited. And so then they just kept, they kept dismissing the women. They were like, okay, you can go. And I remember the casting agent, she would touch the person's shoulder. And I was like, please do not come over here and touch my shoulder. Don't touch my shoulder, please. I need this so bad, And for me, it was all just about being able to pay my rent, get an apartment and pay my rent. That was really all I was thinking about. So, when she came over and touched my shoulder, she leaned over to me and she said, "You got it." And that was like the hand and the voice of God as far as I was concerned. So I froze for a second and I looked up, and the first person I thought of, I was like, I got to tell Tisha. She goes, can you wait around, because we want you to go downstairs and read with the cast. Now, I had never been on TV before, only in commercials, and this was like the hugest deal ever. So I wait, and I go downstairs, and I go tell Tisha, and I bring her into the bathroom, and I go, I have something to tell you. And so she was like, oh, hey. I was trying to be all dramatic. And I told her I got it. And so we jumped up and down like we were like 5-year-old girls at Christmas. I mean, she was so happy. I was happy. And she was like, oh, my God, this is awesome. So anyway, I got the part, and I meet the cast. We go down and read, and we go to, I jump right into work right away.
Right.
Now, it was supposed to be just for a one-time thing. And that's what you call a day player. So I was just hired as a day player. Weird, ancillary, sassy character named Gina. And I went in and did it, and it was great. And then and they said, thank you. We'll see you around. And I said, okay. Something inside of me coming back. I didn't know how. I didn't know when. And it had never been done before on that show. So a couple of weeks later, my agent called. And now, mind you, I don't have a phone. So I'm like, after my first episode, I finally get like this little studio apartment. I think it's like $250 rent a month. I mean, that's how little and cheap it was. And I was living in a really bad area, but I didn't have a phone, so I had to go outside to the payphone. I would call on the payphone every day. My agent, like, okay, did they call you? They're like, AJ, we'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, I have a feeling we really bonded. Everybody liked me. And so sure enough, they called me and told me they wanted me to come back. And then it was weird. They just kept calling. They kept putting me in the script. I kept getting scripts, delivered to my house, and then I became an under fiver, which means you have under 5 lines every episode. 5 lines or less. So you can have 5 lines, or just maybe 1 or 2, or you may just say 2 words, or maybe in the scene. But nonetheless, the paycheck is still the same, and I'm working.
Right.
So so I came back that season for the rest of the season. So I think that was like 5 or 6 episodes, and then the next season they negotiated a deal for me to be a reoccurring.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back the next season for 18 episodes. And then the next season, the final season, they made me a series regular. But that's kind of unheard. I think the only other person that's ever had that happen to them was Marla Gibbs on The Jeffersons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When she was only supposed to have one line and one scene, and she still kept her regular job, all throughout the whole process. But yeah, so that's how it happened, and that was just the grace of God, man. I mean, He just really blessed me, and saw my needs, and saw my desire, and just helped me with my talent.
Amen. That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, I know for me, Gina's definitely one of my favorite characters. Now, what was your favorite Different World episode, if you can name one?
I can just name one?
Yeah, you got to say one.
Okay, wait. That's not fair, because I have 2 favorites.
Okay, I'll give you. You can do 2. You can do 2.
Okay. Let's say my favorite episode was, of course, when I was featured when my boyfriend abused me.
Okay.
Okay, that was my favorite, of course. But the most fun I ever had working on the show was when Tupac was a guest star on the show.
Love that episode. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I love that episode.
And that was called "Homie, Don't You Know Me?" And I'm telling you, that was. I felt guilty that I was getting paid to do that. I mean, it was just so much fun. I mean, it was a big party all day long. We didn't stop laughing. I don't even know how we got through it, but it was just a blast. I mean, he was just one of the nicest people, one of the most talented people I ever worked with. I never saw him even look at a script, but he knew all of his lines, and he was just a really remarkable cat.
That's awesome. I'm gonna tell you my favorite episode though. Actually, my favorite episode is when y'all stepped to Lena's 911 emergency.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that episode. I still have it on DVR. We watch it almost every week. Yeah, I love that episode. It's just a funny episode. I just really like it. It's just
okay.
Well, yeah, yeah. So I mean, like I said, Different World is still relevant today. It's still on our television sets. And after reading the blog, Debbie Allen said she's actually interested in rebooting the show. What do you think about that? And do you think that you would be interested in returning?
Oh, is that serious? Is that really going to happen?
I don't know. I read it in it was an entertainment blog that I read, and she said that she might be interested in rebooting it. So I don't know how serious that is, or if they're really serious considering it. But I think that would be a great idea, because we need more shows like A Different World to come back. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, I listen. For me, I felt like I was just getting started, when the series ended. Mm-hmm. And, like I told you in the very beginning, my dream was to always work with Debbie Allen. I didn't know in what capacity that I would get the opportunity. Mm-hmm. I thought it'd be, on Fame.
Right.
But, so if they call me tomorrow, then absolutely, no problem. I'd love to be able to revisit that and see the old gang again and see what they would. I would be really interested in how it would make us, as adults. That would be awesome. Yeah,
that would be cool. So hopefully it's true, and hopefully we can see you guys again on our TV sets. That would be great. That'd be awesome.
I would never turn down work. That's what the old veterans always just tell me. Never turn down work.
Right. Cool.
It's good work. Any work is good work as long as it's honest work.
Right. So. Exactly. Well, speaking of work, AJ has been working hard. She's actually working on her own show out in LA, and I'm going to give you time, AJ, to kind of promote it. Tell us about your show, what you're doing, when, where. How can we see you live on stage?
Okay. Well, the show that I am currently working on right now is called That Time of the Month. And it is a monthly live comedy variety show. And do you remember that show, Solid Gold, back in the day? Now I'm really showing my age. If you remember Solid Gold, how, the Solid Gold dancers, and they'd have comedy and singing, and, that's kind of like the show I patterned that time of the month after. And
Okay.
And so yeah, I got this opportunity to do it in this really beautiful theater called the Encore Theater in Old Tustin. It's downtown Tustin in Orange County, and it's just it's a great night. It's also a supper club, so you can have like a gourmet meal before the show starts, and then you see this wonderful variety show of actors and singers and dancers and spoken word and musicians. So yeah, tonight we have band rehearsal because I'll be singing, I'll be dancing, and I'll be doing stand up.
Cool.
As well as a lot of other cast of characters. But I'm the producer, and I also host the show, and it's a lot of fun. And I originally did the show back in 1995 in LA, and I did it once a month. I started out at the Comedy Act Theater, and we moved it to the Comedy Store, and it was great. I was inspired to do the show based on the exclusion of so many female comedians in LA. It seemed to me that every club I went to, there weren't any female comedians being presented, and they were, but they may have put like one on stage a night, if that. And I thought, you know what, this is really crazy. You know, there's a lot of talented women out here. You know, so I thought that I'd just flip it and create my own platform, showcase women in a positive, classy way. So I created the show for it to be a female comedy show with one celebrity male guest. So I kind of flipped it like that, and you know, because I figured, you know, if you can't join them, beat them.
Right.
So that's my motto. So it was very successful. Pepsi became a sponsor. We went on the road with it for a while, and then I ran into a few roadblocks with it. You know, a lot of times when people want to get their hands in the pot, you know, a lot of the hands aren't as clean as you'd like for them to be.
Exactly.
So I just decided to put it to bed for a while, and so now I've rebooted it and redoing it again. And I always thought that, you know, I'm one of those people that I don't force anything if it's not the right time or if it's not the right situation. So, and this is my baby, and I've been doing it since the 90s, and so I just figured when that was the right time and right opportunity, right venue, it'll present itself. So a couple of months ago, I met the owner of this theater, and he was like, I'm looking for something to do. And I'm like, yo, here I am, you know. And so we've been promoting it and, you know, rehearsing, and I've got Donnell Allen, who was a groundbreaking actress for many of us young actresses coming up. She was a star on Generations, which was the first black soap opera back in the day. She also was on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. I mean, she's just a veteran Broadway actress that I just adore. She happens to be a friend of mine, too, so she's agreed to do a Broadway musical act on the show. I got a young gentleman by the name of Acklight Whitlock who'll be doing spoken word, and I also have Rita Jones, who's one of my road dogs in stand up, who I think is underrated and underheard and underexposed, but she's talented as hell, and so she'll be performing, as well as another gentleman by the name of Adam Barnhart, who is white and gay and from Texas. Now, you know that's funny. And so, so we'll be opening up with a dance number, and then I've got a wonderful band called Velvet Blue who will be doing so many, you know, songs and intros and outros, and they're going to present, they're going to do a whole set, and they're kind of bluesy, jazzy type, you know, they'll do a lot of Bill Withers type stuff, a lot of Al Green, you know, just real soulful type stuff. So it's going to be a really, really nice evening for those that show up.
Wow, that sounds like it's going to be great. So guys, if you guys are listening and you guys are out in the Orange County area, please go check out this show. I wish I was there. I'm kind of jealous I'm not there. Dog, I kind of want to check this out. I'm a little upset right now.
Well, hopefully one day we'll be able to take it on the road because it's just that good.
Cool. That sounds good. Definitely. If you're over here in the Georgia area, please let me know because I definitely want to check that out. That sounds like it's going to be a great show. A great show. So that's awesome. All right, AJ. So since this is a blog about television, we blog about TV and just entertainment or whatever. What if you're watching TV? What shows are you watching on television?
Say it one more time.
I said since this is a show about television and entertainment, what shows are you watching on TV if you are watching TV?
What shows do I like?
Yes.
Well, let me just say, I really am excited that scripted television is back.
Mm-hmm. We all are.
So I'm excited about that. And, no diss on any other stuff. No diss to Honey Boo Boo, but please. I mean, really. So I love a lot of the dramas. I like stuff like The Good Wife.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of, I like that new Kerry Washington show called Scandal.
Oh, yes. I'm so ready. 2 weeks from now, it's coming back. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can't wait. And so I like Boss with Kelsey Grammer. That's like crazy, amazing. And what else do I watch? I like stuff like White Collar, and I like a lot of stuff that makes me try to I try to figure it out. You know?
Right.
And I like a lot of twists and turns, and I like just good, solid acting. Comedy wise, I think that there's a need for us to be back on the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my grandmother used to always say that if you don't like something, change it. So I have decided to create some projects for television. So I'm in the process, in addition to this live comedy show that I'm doing,
mm-hmm.
I'm also in the process of writing a really, really, really good sitcom for a really, really, really big star who's really, really interested and likes the piece. I just have to finish the script as soon as this show is over, but we're going to go into development very, very soon. I can't tell you who it is,
okay,
but I will tell you, you are going to absolutely dig it.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it here on Carlton Says Real Talk, so we're looking forward to it.
Yes,
we're excited.
You will definitely dig it. And and here's a hint. No, I'm not going to say that. Well, I will say this. No, I'm not. No, because see, let me tell you, I'm really excited that that television has that it's come back full circle. So comedians, really good, talented comedians, are coming back with their own shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really glad that Cedric the Entertainer has his own show, because that has opened the door for the idea that I'm presenting. Okay. So thank God for that, because now, because show business is like that. Once they see one thing working, they'll just, then they can welcome your idea. So I'm excited about that. So I'm hoping that he keeps moving and keeps his ratings up and stuff, because that's going to make it really, really easy for me to present what I got. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is going to be so dope. And and just trust me, my skill set is that of, I come from the Cosby era, right?
Right.
So that's my style of writing. Okay. So, and I got a really good crew of people that support me with the writing process. So I can't wait to drop this name on you, but I just can't right now just yet. Woo, but it's going to be dope.
Cool. Well,
I cannot wait.
Well, definitely please keep us posted, because we're excited for you.
You good enough? That's a good tease, right?
Yes, that was a great tease. You teased
us. That was
us.
a big tease. I know, man. But it's going to be so good. It's really good, and it's going to be one of those things where people are going to be like, "Oh man, finally!"
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to people getting, and no disrespect to Tyler Perry and all that's going. That's fine. Do your thing, boo. I ain't mad at nobody for feeding their family, but it's time to bring back quality, funny TV like back in the 90s. Remember back in the 90s?
Yeah,
exactly. You had Cosby, you had Martin, you had In the House. But we had it going. In Living Color. What?
Yeah. It's time.
Yeah, it's time to bring that kind of television back, and I think we're on our way.
Cool. That sounds good. I'm excited. Now, AJ, if your fans want to connect with you, or if they want more information about your show, how can they connect with you? Either via Facebook, Twitter. You throw that out there if you don't mind.
You know what? They can find me on Facebook, AJAI Sanders, or they can just hit me up on Twitter at AJ Sanders. It's real simple. I always respond. A lot of people don't think it's really me responding, but it's really me.
She does respond, because that's how I got connected with her. So she does respond. I can adhere to that. So she definitely responds.
So yeah, it's just anytime, just hit me up, and we can talk.
Cool. All right. Well, AJ, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us here on
My
Carlton
pleasure. I
Says
hope I
Real
didn't
Talk.
talk your ear off.
No, we love it. We love it. We love it. Thank you. We're just so appreciative that you took the time out to talk with us. We thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Well, I want to talk to you next time when I have that sitcom. I'm gonna, bust out on y'all. Okay,
Yes,
so we'll
definitely.
talk again when the sitcom gets on. We're on our way to the Emmys. I'm claiming it.
Yes, that's right. We're claiming it with you. Thank you so much. Please keep us informed. We would love to have you back on the show.
My pleasure.
All
okay,
right.
Carlton. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, that is it. That is it for Carlton Says Real Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in for another great episode. That was AJAI Sanders. And, you never know who we're going to have next. So y'all stay tuned. Shout out to Robert McDaniel, Studio 4002. And we will see you guys next time on Carlton Says Real Talk. Peace.